Karen Bukolt, and welcome to That's Vegetarian. Today we are going to make a butternut squash ravioli with a brown butter sage sauce with some roasted hazelnuts. Now I have pre-made butternut squash ravioli. You'll see the sage that we're going to be adding to the brown butter. We'll add it at various stages, so some of them get really crispy and then some of them will be a little bit more tender. I'm going to take about 1/8 of a cup of the hazelnuts and I'm going to pound them down a little bit, and then I'm just going to roast them in the toaster oven for about 5 minutes at 350 degrees just to kind of get them a little bit warm. Or what else you can do in a toaster oven is just put it on like a medium toast, hit the toaster down, and that usually works pretty well. So what are we going to start off with? The brown butter sage sauce. It's very important to put the butter at a low temperature, so probably about a simmer until it starts to brown. That'll give you a nuttier flavor. So I'm going to use about 2½ tablespoons. Okay, I'm going to cut it into some smaller pieces for melting. We have it on the low simmer, and now it's just a waiting game. It probably takes about 15 minutes for it to brown, but the slower you brown it, the better and nuttier it tastes. Let's get the pasta boiling, the nuts crushed and roasted, and then we'll come back and check on our butter. We'll boil the ravioli according to the package instructions, which is usually about 8 minutes on a slow boil. Let's gently drain the pasta in a colander. We're going to add some additional sage to the brown butter along with the toasted hazelnut. We can see that the butter has gotten a little brown. I know it's hard to see in the nonstick pan, but hopefully at the bottom you can see I added the nuts and a little bit more sage to kind of meld the flavors together. I have the drained pasta, and I'm going to take the drained pasta and add it. I did rinse it with a little bit of cold water to help prevent it from sticking. And I mentioned I do this to help the pasta absorb the flavors a little bit of the brown butter sage sauce. Now, as you can tell, there's not a whole lot of butter in there, and I do that on purpose. If you want more butter, you can just add more butter. And so I'll just let this cook for a few minutes to let the flavors meld together. So we'll check back in a moment or two. The ravioli are a little browned. I did turn up the heat a little bit to put it more on a medium to get that browning to happen. Let's pour it into our bowl. You can just see the yummy goodness of the little goodies of the nuts and the sage. Okay, a little bit of extra of the butter on there. Fantastic. And as always, we're going to top it a little bit with our sal y pimiento. A little bit of extra oil, a little bit of a different flavor to add to it. A little bit of Parmesan cheese. Once again, this is all, the last bit of the garnishing is optional. We have the monster pepper grinder. Last but not least, a little garnish with some additional fresh sage leaves. You could also put those on the regular plate as well. So here we have our butternut squash ravioli with a brown butter sage sauce with toasted hazelnuts, finished off with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. Let's see how it tastes. That's vegetarian.